Hello, this is Aaron. I post over at iRoots.org. I wanted to bring something to everybody's attention regarding Rand Paul. This doesn't have anything to do with his controversial endorsement about Mitt Romney. We can talk about that another time. Basically, Rand Paul is gumming up the works in the Senate, and the liberal media is freaking out about it. If you've been on the blogs, uh, and unfortunately, in my opinion, even on the Ron Paul blogs, people are freaking out, and it's usually the leftists. And what I want to argue is that that's probably a good thing. Rand Paul is building his credential in the conservative movement. That's obviously the tact he's decided to take. He's stated himself that he will oppose Mitt Romney when he does things that are unconstitutional, like support unconstitutional wars. A recent article about that linked below as well. But let's take a look at what he is doing. He is using a tactic that may seem unseemly, and we don't like it because it's usually used against us who support liberty and limited government. But here he's using their own dirty tricks against them. There's nothing illegal about it. He's just saying, hey, I want an up or down vote on sanctity of life, or on a Second Amendment issue, or on federal foreign aid. He's been using this tactic in many different ways. You can take a look at an article that's up on Bloomberg right now, titled "Paul Finds Success Through Obstruction of Senate Bills." So essentially, that's what Rand Paul is doing. What I want to put forward is the idea that we, as activists, need to do our job in the educational battle, talking about these principles that Rand Paul doesn't get to have a chance all the time to talk about. So we need to explain to folks, even in the normal conservative world, why subsidies of flood insurance are a bad thing. And they are a bad thing, essentially, because they subsidize stupid behavior. I'll read a little bit from the Mises article. The government should not be subsidizing insurance payments for anyone, and it's irresponsible to use other people's money effectively to encourage stupid people who else builds in flood-prone areas to do ever more stupid things. Granting that the natural right to behave stupidly, doing so should not come at others' expense. Now, it goes on to point out the fact that this money is essentially going to the super wealthy who have these beach homes. Let's talk about the point that we need to talk about with the public who's not used to libertarian arguments. Of course, we all want to jump on board and help if there's a catastrophe, it's a terrible flood. Of course, we're going to step in and help people. But we're talking about prior to that, building into the system protections so that people don't feel the risk, and it's called moral hazard in some senses, and we understand it economically, but it happens in the physical world as well. And I'm sure many of you who are parents understand this as well. When you support and give protections that you know are there, you're more likely to take risks. So this is a liberty, truly a conservative principle that we should understand, and we need to use this as an opportunity to teach and talk about that, I would argue. And so I hope everyone does that. Share this Mises article, share the iRoots article below. So tell us what you think. Do you like the way Rand Paul is upsetting the liberal media? I would argue that this only is going to help him in the long run. We don't really need the votes from Daily Kos. By the way, you can see over at Esquire and Daily Kos, these leftist sites, you can see them even in the main article calling Rand Paul by his otherwise known as Aqua Buddha, using that term again disparagingly. So you can tell they're very, very upset because they want these statist things to go through. And we have a chance to talk about free market principles through his actions. Tell me what you think.